and also apply the product that will remove the oxide. It's about the StormGiga Elegoo printer. Ordered this from AliExpress, but they haven't arrived yet. What is this component? But anyway, in general, the workshop is... And I bought a different one, and it's not that expensive. Finally, I've covered the wall here. I have to have in mind that this is not a finished job. What's up, my friends? Welcome back. Let's make the weekly update of my workshop. What's up, my friends? Welcome back. Let's see some updates of my workshop. I will try to make these weekly updates, or at least each 2 weeks. And in this episode, I will try to also show you some of the updates of the house, like the pool, the barbecue site, and so on. So let's start. Another update will be with the printers that had some damages during the flood that I've shown you in the previous video, that my entire workshop flooded. And this is the printer from Anchor Maker, which I like a lot, and I want to fix it because it has some damages. Let me show you. So the printer works. I mean, starts up, it loads the program, and then it tries to move, but it does not move. I mean, actually, this is the only motor that moves. And that means that water got to the motors, especially this one and these two here. These are locked in place. As you can see, I'm not able to move it, so it must be a fusion between the metals because of the oxide. So I took it out to clean it. So let me just make a zoom and show you. So this one here moved, but quite ugly, so I've cleaned it, so now it's clean. But this one was stuck in place. It was not moving at all. So I've opened it up, and as you can see, it's full of oxide, especially here. So this metal were like fused together. So I've cleaned it a little bit with the metal brush and then with a toothbrush, and also apply the product that will remove the oxide. So I will leave it for like that for a few minutes, then clean it once again with the brush. And I will also want to apply some WD-40 to grease it a little bit up, close it up, and see if it works. And especially for these ones which are very stuck in place, I'll open this up and see if this will solve the problem, because I really like this printer, especially that you can print with Wi-Fi from everywhere, so I don't want to lose it. So let's see if I can fix it, and hopefully only the only problem are the motors, not any other sensor. By the way, I've heard that they've made a cologne or a perfume with the smell of the WD-40, which is quite crazy. I mean, I do like how it smells. Leave a comment below if you'd also like it. But I'm also that kind of person that likes how the gasoline and the diesel smells, or the acetone. So yeah, maybe that's why I like it. I know that there are people that don't like the smell of this. I would not wear this as a perfume, but anyway, it was quite interesting to see that they have a perfume with this smell. The access to these two motors is a bit more difficult. I have to take the entire frame out. It has a lot of screws, because otherwise I can't get to the motors. Okay, so just like that, after a bunch of screws, it's open. And I was wrong, there are not two motors, just one, obviously because it's just the Y-axis, but it's one with two outputs, two shafts. Even better. So let's just take it out and fix it. And also record what we have inside. So let's see. This is the board that is using. I think it's custom made for this printer, because I haven't seen this on AliExpress or any other market. It has these custom made plugs that go directly to each axis, the L and the R. And that's quite cool, because I really like to have like plug and play. Just plug it and that's it. That makes the entire setup a lot more compact. Then we have the supply, which I'm guessing that it hasn't taken any water damage, or maybe the water entered, but now that it's dry it works, because it has no problem, it's working. In any case, if in the future it will get damaged, I have a few more of these supplies of 24 volts, and they just cost like $20 or $30. I could just change it. So that's what we have inside. Let's just take the motor and fix it. Okay, so I finally have it open. This one was very stuck. It's full with rust, so I'm not sure if I will be able to fix it. Anyway, I had to use some force to take it out, because I don't want to damage it. So let me just brush it with the metal and the plastic brushes, add that product, clean it a little bit, add some grease, and see if it works, hopefully. I think I've done a pretty good job cleaning it. There's no more oxide. I mean, yes, we have something here, but that doesn't matter because it's not on the magnet. I think it's quite clean, so yeah, I'll just assemble it and test it out. The motor is now clean and add it in place, and now we can close the case. So it's booting up. Let's see if now it works, because it was booting up, but the problem was the motors. Now I think everything is moving, and home. Okay, X working, Toma. Y is also working. Let's home the Z-axis. Okay, so it seems that is working okay. Okay, so I'll take this printer to the rest of the other printers that I have on the other side. And by the way, I bought this, you can see, hologram shape. So when you print on top of this bed, it will give the same shape as the hologram. Let me just pull it up. So as you can see, it's magnetized. So once you have it in place, if you print on top of it, it will have the same texture like this one. It's pretty cool to have it. And if you're wondering how it's possible that the shape of this plate is passing colors to your material. Now it's not passing colors, it's not painting the material, but it's passing the shape, because this has nothing to do with the refraction of the material, it has to do with the reflection. There are two words, not reflection, no, not refraction, but reflection. I think those are the words. Basically, it has nothing to do with the light passing through the material and creating colors. It has to do with the shapes. This material has some micro shapes on it that scatter light in such a way that it will reflect colors like this, just as a CD. A CD is not transparent, but it has like some micro mirrors on top of it, which are where the bits are stored. And when you place that in the light, it will scatter light in such a way that it will create different wavelengths of the light. That's how we physically pass this property to our material, because if you print on top of this, those micro mirrors, those micro shapes on top of this material are passing the same shape to the plastic. So it doesn't matter the chemical side of the plastic. If it's made out of plastic and it has this same shape, it will also create this kind of patterns. Pretty interesting, right? Another update I wanted to show you is about the StormGiga Elegoo printer, which, by the way, I haven't used a lot, and especially since I've moved, I haven't even assembled it, because it's huge and I don't have enough space. I know that I have a bigger workshop right now, but I'm saving that space for other machineries, for example, a lathe machine, and I also want a laser welding machine. So I decided to sell it because I'm not using it that much. I have my printers of 400 by 400, which is enough for me. And somebody will come to take it, because it's very difficult to sell such a printer because it's huge, it weighs like a ton. So luckily someone with a truck will come and maybe take it. And yeah, I just wanted to show you something that is very strange. It's the amount of power supplies. This one is using a lot of power. As you can see, we have 4 here and 1 here, and I think it's like 300 watts or maybe even more. I'm not sure if I can see it here. Anyway, it uses a lot of power and it makes a lot of sound, especially when you are hitting all the beds. By the way, this printer can hit only one bed if you want to print only here, so it's not wasting that much power. But yeah, it can waste more than 1000 watts when you're hitting all the beds. And then you have wires together, and all they are coming here to these connectors. As you can see, we have the wording of it's not high voltage, it's 24 volts, but anyway, you should not touch this, because if you make a short circuit here, I think everything will explode. And then have yet another surprise, I'm guessing that for powering the rest of the components, you even have an magnetic breaker like this one. Everything is wire well inside. You have the main board here with some ventilators, with some fans. And yeah, this is what I wanted to show you. It's quite interesting to see how big it is and how much power it would use. And yeah, if you are planning to buy this, make sure you have a lot of room, and also you have a few other more people to help you, because it weighs a lot. It was very difficult to carry here. And yeah, that's it. I've just checked the power of the supplies and it's 400 watts, and we have 5 of them, so that's a total of 2000 watts. That's why we have this thick cable, which it looks like a normal PC cable, but is not. It is like double the size and a lot thicker, because this could use a lot of power. So it won't use 2000 watts all the time, only when it's at full power, I'm guessing. But have in mind that your outlet should also withstand 2000 watts, otherwise your breaker will jump. Yep. Another update I wanted to tell you is about the panel, the solar panel, and that's because in the last update of my panel I've received a lot of comments telling me stuff that something was right, something was not right, positive, negative messages. Anyway, I'm planning to make a full update about the entire setup, but just for now I wanted to tell you some new things that I'll add and things that I will change to my panel. Okay, the other update is about the thermal breakers, and I think it's about to start a storm, so I'll be brief. hopefully. Anyway, in the other video, I've installed this panel here. Actually, I already had the panel, but I've installed the thermal breakers, and I've used normal AC breakers with my solar panels, and a lot of you got insane. Now, the thing is that I've already ordered this from AliExpress, but it took a little bit more to arrive, so I didn't have this when I made the video. But since I had these two breakers of 16 and 10 amps that I was about to use with my container home project, I said I will just use this and then I will change it. And I forgot to mention that I will change it in the future. Now, I've also asked some professionals that are working with solar panels all day long, and they told me that it's not a big problem, that I should use DC breakers. But you see, inside of a breaker, they work the same. This kind of breaker will protect you for short circuit, so a huge amount of current in a small amount of time. So when you make a short circuit, magnetic field will move the breaker and make it jump. Or the other thing that will save you is constant high power usage for a lot of time. So the wires inside of your wall are getting hotter and hotter till they could melt. So in order to prevent that, a strip of metal inside of this will dilate and it will change its shape and make the breaker jump. So it will protect you for those two things. Now, the thing that if you use DC or AC is not that difficult, not that different, because the only thing that will act against the breaker is the current. So it doesn't matter if it's AC or DC. But the arcs, the plasma arcs that are created inside, and the power that is dissipated with AC and DC might be different, because AC uses high voltage, so the arcs will be bigger, the spaces between the plates inside should be a lot bigger. So yeah, it is recommended to use DC breakers, but it's not that big of a deal. I'm not recommending it to use AC breakers for DC voltage, but in this case, for those 40 volts and 10 amps, this fuse was good for now. I've even tested, I made a short circuit and it broke. So yeah, now I'll change it with this. And by the way, I will make a full update about this system, because for now it's not connected to anything. That's why I'm not worried about to use different breakers, because the inverter is only connected to the batteries and nothing else, because I haven't made that switch, because I've already told you that I want to use that inverter when the power is off. So just connect it to my water pump so I could take out the water and not get another flood in my workshop. Anyway, the update was that now I'll change this. And maybe in the future video I will answer all your comments, because I've got a lot of comments related to my wire, why I'm using a 1.6 millimeter wire. By the way, it was 2.5 millimeter, not 1.6, and it could withstand more than 30 amps, and these panels are giving only 10 amps, so I'm not worried about that. And the thing with solar panel wires, which are very expensive and I haven't used those, is that it's not that it's a special wire, because wire is wire. It's just a copper connection. Could be more resistive or less resistive. But the special thing about specially made for solar panel wires is the coverage. The insulator is made to withstand higher amount of solar time, so they won't break, they won't get brittle and get water inside of them. But since my wires are directly passed into this tube and then inside of my home, they are not touching the sun, they are not touching the bad weather. So I'm not worried about using normal AC wires of 2.5 millimeters for now. If I will add more panels, maybe I will change them to a bigger gauge, and also insulators for outside. And also I've added ground to the metal bars, which is something that I forgot to mention in that video. I'll make a full update because I've got a lot of negative comments. Some of you were right, but some of you were wrong. So yeah, I'll make an update about that. And another update is here in the pool area. And with this bad time, it's been a while that I've used the pool. Anyway, it's about here. I've already told you that this house has some flood problems. Actually, my workshop got flooded a few months back. And not just the front part of the house with the workshop, but also this back part where the pool is. So this entire area could get flooded because there's no exit. I mean, there is, but it's quite high. And if the water gets quite high, it could reach the window of my workshop and flood the workshop from the other side. That's why we have another pit here for water, for the rainwater, and another pump. But this pump also got damaged. Are very old pumps since before I bought the house. So yeah, I bought a new one and I'll have to change it. So this week I've prepared this case. This is made to withstand outside, so rain won't enter. I've also had an outside plug, and then from here I get power to there, which this wire was already installed, but the case was not. So from there I can connect it to the water pump directly. And that's what I'll do. So as you can see, this pit is already full because this pump does not work anymore. And I bought a different one, and it's not that expensive. I think it was like 45 euros. It's 700 watts. It's enough to take this other water out. And as you can see, if I can take this aside, I have here a hose, and that will go directly in the field. And since this is water from rain, I can throw that directly in the field. So what I will do is to take this out, cut this wire. I have to cut off the power and change it with a new pump, and hope that now the entire water from here will get outside, because the other day it rained and the water almost got to my window. I hope that won't happen. And since we are here, let's just make another update about the home, not the workshop. I've made this here, this perimeter along the pool, because I want to make some stairs, because as you can see, this is quite dangerous. It's like half a meter, so my baby could just fall from here, and it doesn't make sense to have it like this. So the entire perimeter of concrete and blocks will go to here, another stair here, and then all this area was filled with concrete, because this was like a terrible slope. I'm not sure who designed this, but it was awful. So now I have to fill this entire area with a different floor. I bought some black floor that will be in the same theme with the rest of my yard. And then I also have something I wanted to show you here. So this is an update about the barbecue that I've made myself. And you have to think, you have to have in mind that this is not a finished job. I still have a lot to do. For example, I haven't painted the roof of the barbecue, and it got oxidized, and then everything that I painted with white, it got like dark because of the rain. So yeah, I will have to repaint this entire thing. And by the way, this is a floor that I will be adding to the pool. Actually, I bought this for the pool, but since I now have it, I've also added it on top of this. And also have in mind that when I start with this, there was nothing here, just a small commercial barbecue here, which I thrown down. So I've made the entire thing myself with my father. I made some pillars, filled them with concrete, then the entire table. But there are still a lot of things to do. For example, I want to add a small roof, because here I want to have like a fridge and also gas fire. I also want to have like a beer cooler, a beer machine, and a bunch of other stuff that could not withstand the rain. So I will have to add like a small roof here. Also added the chimney here, which is custom made. I bought it from internet for quite cheap. And also the barbecue grill, I want to change that with a automatic level, so I could change the level depending on the heat that I get from the fire. But yeah, I just wanted to show you this. I think that for now it looks quite cool. So I haven't recorded with the camera the entire process, but I did make some short videos with my phone. So I'll try to place those on the screen while I'm talking, because we have started with nothing. We have made the pillars and then filled them with concrete. Then we placed 2 beams on top of them, and then some bricks, fill them with mortar. And then on top of that, we bought some special bricks which are refractant, specially made bricks for withstanding a lot of heat. Then we made the upper part and the roof, which is made out of metal. And then I bought a chimney and added. There were a lot of steps. So I went to a local depot store to buy like a barbecue like this one. And one with a similar size, just this part here, was like 2,000 euros. And I said, no, they make that myself. And this entire thing here cost me like 300 euros. And obviously a lot of work, but it was my work, so I'm not gonna pay to myself. And yeah, with only 300 euros, I made this entire barbecue and saved a lot of money. And that's the update. I was just going down to the workshop, and I remember that I've also added these stripes here. Oh my God, I have a lot of trash, a lot of cardboard. So let me tell you about this. There's a mess here, but anyway, these stairs were supposed to be temporary, because when I moved in, I had to get down a lot of stuff. And I had no stairs, so I've just welded some bars together. And then I said, maybe I will make some other stairs here with concrete, a lot better, but I have no time for that. So these stairs are not that good. And this wood, when it gets wet, is quite slippy. And I've already felt 2 times and hurt myself a lot. So I found this kind of bar which is glue in place. You could also add some staplers if you want. And this material is like very rough. As you can see, it has like a sand on it, and it also has a stripe which is fluorescent, so you can see it at night, and it's also anti-slipping. So as you can see, when you step on it, you won't slip, and that you won't slip. And that's why I've added, because I still have to add this. I found these rolls on Amazon for like, I think $15, and I have to finish. As you can see, I can't finish anything. I started this and then I had to finish other thing, and everything is a mess. I have so little time to work. But anyway, I'll just finish it now and that's it. Another update in the workshop is that I finally covered the columns. If you remember, this was like brick because I had to cut it. And first I wanted to add like a protective vinyl on top of it, or maybe just cover it with mortar. But in the end, I've realized that since I already have this kind of wood that I use for my wall, I can just add it like this and then fill it with tools, like for example these cables, or who knows what other things. So as you can see, it looks pretty nice from both sides. There's not enough light. And I also have it to fill it. I have to fill it on the top side, but for now on the edges, which is the part that I most touch and I was getting dirty from the brick, is now covered. So I can also fill it with tools. I have also decided to just take this out. I will take it out and finish my first idea, the entire table like this in the shape of an U. That was the initial idea. Then I changed it. I said that would be too much table, but now I also want it. And instead of storing things like this, I would just store them below the table. Like for example that. I make a lot of drawers and I think that will be a lot better. And finally, the things that I will change in the storage area. I don't like it at all. I think it occupies a lot of space. It's not well organized. So I'll remove all this, place it into a different space. And what I want to do is to make like a huge table, because I realized that anytime that I want to work with something longer than 2 meters, I don't have enough space. So when I've made the support for the solar panel, by the way, I have a lot of trash to take out, I realized that this space is not that big because the bars were like 3 meters and each time I was rotating the bar I was hitting the wall or the window. So I need a space for bigger projects. So I'll make like a huge table from one side to the other side, and once again below the table it will be storage. On top of the ceiling it will be another storage, and then this one maybe I will move it like here, but I really need like a long table. And here at the beginning of the table I will have my LED machine, which I'll buy soon, and hopefully a new machine for my workshop, which is a laser cutter for metals, not for wood, for metal. And I'm telling you about the new laser welder because I've got in contact with this company here, X-Tool. They have a new laser welding and CNC machine, and also this company got in contact with me. Now there's another company from China that already told me that they won't be sending me this unit because they don't have the authority to sell those kinds of units in Europe because of danger and safety issues and blah blah blah. You know, these machines are very dangerous because they are using high power lasers. But these they do sell in Europe, and also maybe this one. I've just answered to some emails, but as you can see they are quite pricey, so I'm not sure if they will give me this or maybe make me an offer to buy it cheaper because I don't have this kind of money to buy it right now. But I would really love to have a welder with laser and also CNC cutter, because you can basically cut like 1 centimeter metal parts. So imagine the products, the project that I would be able to do with such a machine. I've also bought some used batteries from a second-hand store, and these are salvaged from different bikes and so on, and they also have the milliamps and voltage, and I've tested with my own milliamps meter and with a multimeter for the voltage, and it's quite close to this value, so they're legit. I mean, they're good batteries, and I bought all these batteries for only 15 euros, which is quite nice. So I think I will buy more from this guy because he has a lot of more batteries, and since they are good, I will buy more, because if you buy these new, they are a lot more expensive than 15 euros for this many batteries. I also have my own battery pack from a scooter, electric scooter. I'll open this up and salvage the batteries and see which one works and which does not. And with the milliamps tester, which is basically just a MOSFET that will charge the battery and then discharge it, measure the current, it will tell you how much storage it has in it. I'll test them out, and this is quite old. This is for like a few years back, so I hope they are still working well. One thing that they sent me and I haven't had time to edit into a mailbag video was this screwdriver here, which is electric. So let me just show it to you. It looks like a normal metal case, but if you push here, there you have it. You have the screwdriver. But then if you take this out, you also have the tips. Pretty nice design. And then you have these 2 buttons to move it clockwise and counterclockwise, but it's now powered off. You just power it on. Pretty nice, right? I have a bunch of tips here. They are magnetically attached to the support. So just by pressing it, it will just get out. Pretty nice. We have a bunch of shapes and sizes. And then here, if you see, you have the lock position, but then you have low and high for high and low torque. And it has, I mean, I can stop it with my bare hand. It has a lot of torque. And obviously you can charge it with a USB type charger. For now, since I don't have the space for the printers prepared, because I don't have the table, I have a bunch of my printers here. This is the one that we have just fixed. Just lower the slide. And then I have this one, which works because when this side was flooded, it was on a table, and this one as well. But this one here does not work anymore, and it has the same problem. The motors are oxidized, so I have to take it out. The only problem is that the electronics of this printer are quite low, so maybe the electronics won't work, but I won't do that today. I'm too tired for that. Now let me make you an update about the project that I'm working on related with this PCB, which I've made a short post on YouTube, and ask you, what do you think this project will be about? Let me tell you more. So the post was showing you this PCB and this transformer, or coil, but it's a transformer with 3 inputs, because this is a middle tap transformer. Then we have my PCB and this component here. Now I will tell what is this about, but you will see this project for sure in the next month or 2 months, because as you can see we have a bunch of stuff here. I'm making tests. So basically this is an ultrasonic transducer. So if you apply ultrasonic signal to this, it will vibrate, and then you have like the bell, which is made to resonate, and then on the tip you have, let me just show you. So on the tip you have like a normal knife, but since this will vibrate with ultrasonic speeds, it will cut even plastic like butter, because it will just cut it like this with no problem, because it vibrates at ultrasonic speeds. Imagine that. So if you want to buy an ultrasonic cutter, they are already on the market, but it costs you like $400, $500. They are very expensive. So I want to make my own. That's why I have this transformer, because we have to make very powerful ultrasonic signals. I also bought an ultrasonic transducer like this one to make some tests. I have a smaller one here. I'm not seeing it right now. This one, and this is another transducer, but this is made for dentists, for cleaning your teeth. So yeah, I'll make a bunch of tests and post a full project about this, and hopefully it will work, because if I make this, it will cost you less than $40 maybe, and compared to what you have on the market, it costs like $400 or $500. Hopefully it will work. And obviously, as always, if this will work, I'm sharing the files, the schematic and the component list in the description of the video, so stay tuned for that video, because if it works, you can download them for free and make your own project and save a lot of money, because this will cost like $40. Here in Spain and basically in Europe, and maybe also in United States right now, I'm not sure, but we have a brand which is called Parkside, which is selling a bunch of tools for everything. Actually, Arnold made the commercial for Parkside, which is crazy. And since this is sold in Lidl, which is a very common supermarket here in Spain and Europe in general, I bought a bunch of tools. Let me just show you. Files and cutters for wood and for metal, all from Parkside. Metal thread makers also for Parkside, and I've placed it here on the wall. I have a saw from Parkside. I have this Allen key set. Tips for the screwdriver from Parkside, that awful sound. And also screwdriver set from Parkside. I even bought the thermal shrinking tube kit from Parkside. They sell a whole bunch of tools. I've even bought the X from Parkside. And by the way, this Parkside is not a paid ad. I have nothing to do with them. I just like their tools. And since they are sold in Lidl, I just bought a bunch of them. And then we have a bunch of tools that I've already showed you. I have this bend saw for wood from Parkside, and also that saw for metal, which is also from Parkside. And by the way, let me just turn on the light here. That is also from Parkside. So I'm telling you, they make a bunch of stuff. I know that I have a lot more other tools there, but I'm not sure where I've stored them, because I bought these tools during these last years. I haven't bought everything just right now. I just wanted to show you that I'm quite a fan of the Parkside, because they're medium quality but very low price, very low cost. So that's why I buy them, because I'm not a rich person. Here I have more storage, also from Parkside, and this cost me only $9. I bought 5 of them, because in the past when I bought my storage for my components from AliExpress, just one cost me 33 euros. So I bought this for only 9. That's why I bought a bunch of them, because for sure I will fill them with a bunch of small components. So guys, that was the update for this week. I have right now a bunch of projects that I'm working on, new projects, but I don't want to make spoiler of those. I'm working on some previous projects as well to finish them and make more updates, but right now I have to finish these new projects because I've been working for them, like for example the ultrasonic cutter, for months. So I've made a design, I made some small tests, and now that I'm sure that I can make something, I've ordered a PCB and I have to assemble it, record that, make the video, and so on. So yeah, wish me luck with those projects and stay tuned for more stuff. I will try to make this kind of updates each week. So maybe some of the videos won't be that interesting, maybe others will have some interesting stuff. I hope that you like it and that you have learned something new, and if so, maybe comment below, give me a like or share the video with anybody, because that's the thing that most pushes my channels. Thank you very much and keep up, you guys.